Hey, Professor K here, and the final piece of the puzzle before we're able to actually start writing CSS for your favorite recipe is to actually create and link a CSS file. And that's what will allow us to actually start getting in and styling. Wow, all this setup to get styles, right? The great thing is by doing this prep work, it's kind of like mise en place in cooking. And if you know cooking at all, that's where you prep all your ingredients and put them in a nice order so that when you actually go to execute on the directions, it's really easy and straightforward and you can focus on the cooking technique. That's what we're doing here with the HTML. So I appreciate your patience in this. We're getting to the good stuff. Just hold on. All right, so first thing we need to do, create the CSS file, right? We don't have a place to write our CSS right now. And if you remember our video where we talked about different ways to add CSS, the couple different ways we have, the best way is always to write it in a separate file because of the separation of concerns, right? We want our content in one place and our styles in another. It's also just plain easier to manage. So we're going to do that by creating a new file, style.css. We're just going to add this file. Now, once we've added the file, the index.html doesn't know about this yet. It's just a file over here. In fact, if I write image and I use my curly braces and I try to write a rule here like width 10 pixels, right now we can see that the connection's not working because nothing happened, right? So like, okay, how do we make the connection? If you remember, what do we use to connect things in HTML? There's two ways that we connect things into HTML. One is the hyperlink tag, the A tag. The second is literally called a link tag. And remember that the link belongs in the head. So let's write one quick. Tab link rel equals style sheet. That's how the HTML knows what kind of link it is. And then here, just like the A tag, we use href equals. And then our next piece is to determine where we're going to point to, how we're going to make the connection between index.html and style.css. Now, in some of our other places in here, like source, or if we had a link in here, it might be to an actual like page on a server or something like that. But because we have style.css right here, it's like nearby, the best choice for linking here is a relative link. So no need for the HTTPS in front of it, no need for the www in front. You're just going to write style.css, real nice and easy. And check that out. The minute we got that link working, that relationship working, that rule that we added over here in style.css, width equals 10 pixels, applied. And now we can see the image is much smaller. And in fact, if we want, we can test this one more time by just changing the rule. And I'm going to put width 50%. Oh, and this preview is so much easier to use. All right, so this is great. This puts me in a great spot for understanding how to start styling and actually working on styles in here. So you're going to be doing a lot of flipping back and forth between these, but if you've written your HTML and your classes in a way that helps you remember what styles go with what, you shouldn't need to flip back and forth too often. You should just be able to write your CSS rules outright. So I'm going to show you exactly what my process looks like to write those CSS rules. All right. So now that we're ready to start doing CSS, let's take a look at what that looks like.